I'm confused. Wait a minute, wake me up because here we are. It's time for Lucky Time Explosion! Third degree burns.
Welcome. We have a very special guest today. It's
Hello.
Amanda Wu,
The one and only.
otherwise known as Amanda Wu from What Does It Mean with Amanda Wu? It's like the first podcast here at the studio.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the OG, so you're welcome, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's lovely to see you.
Thank you for making my dreams come true.
It's all I ever wanted.
Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
how many episodes are you into now?
10,
Oh
which
my
is
God.
so exciting.
That's awesome. What have you learned making a podcast?
That it's much harder than you would think.
Yeah.
But it gets easier, and now I'm like, oh, it's good. Don't even trip, and it's a good time.
What's your favorite part about What Does It Mean?
Getting to know artists in a deeper level, because I don't always know who they are, like, really, or what their art is about. And so also my favorite part is hearing about things that's not in their art world scheme, you know, like their different hobbies and where they've been and people they've met. And
Why don't you lay it on us? Why
well,
don't you hit us with your juice?
oh, I'm ready to juice it up.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So,
we're
for
ready.
instance, my last guest, Sue Carnett, she was in Egypt, which I had no idea, but she did talk about it a little bit on her website. And then she also met Keith Haring, because she also went to SVA and I went to SVA, and I was like, no way. So we had a little fun thing about that. And then Gretchen Widdenboss, we deep dived into her herbalistness, because she was the plague doctor at the last Art in Odd Places last year. And
Are you doing that again this year?
I am not on the team this year, but I did pitch an idea, and I'm real excited.
You're pinching it? You mean you stole someone's idea?
No, I pitched it. It was
you
my
pitched
idea.
it.
And then it was so funny because I was
damn.
like, here's my idea, get ready. And then my friends, so we have a little trio called Miss Whip, and then my friends who are in the trio is like, can I join? And I was like, yes, but it's my idea.
Are you gonna let us know what it is?
No, I want to get accepted first.
Okay.
You gotta drop some of your usual questions on us, me and Sucklord.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, hit us.
What's your inspirations?
Oh God. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
That's too base.
One of the worst
These
questions.
are advanced.
I'm supposedly an artist, so people want to interview me about that. I've done so many interviews, and they always, without fail, ask that question. What does it mean? What are you asking when you ask somebody that question? Like, other art do I like? Or like, what part of what inside of myself moves me to do the work? Like, what is the question actually asking?
Well, it's just what inspires you to create.
Do I look inspired about anything?
No, that's why you're Sucklord.
Yeah.
You look vaguely like the Unabomber tonight.
Thanks.
It's in
Look,
style.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come out hard like that. I'm sorry. I'm just for the dramatic effect.
No, you got to do
That's
it.
You know,
okay.
I'm being contentious. Don't take it personally. I'm just like for the entertainment value. I'm just, you know,
gotta
but
spar.
That's okay.
but I've always hated that question. No offense. I wish it was a little bit more specific.
That's fair.
Like,
so
what
far,
inspires you to do what, or why are you motivated to do this, or what part of your work, like how much of your work is like because you have this unrelenting belief in this thing you feel or see in your mind and you simply must convey it? How much of it is just craven popularity seeking? How much of it is because you're too scared to be alone with yourself? How much of it is motivated by money? Like, how do all those things come together?
I think it depends on the artist, but like,
Well, how do people generally answer that question? Not like this, right?
no, you are the first.
Not with open hostility.
But I suppose I will never ask this question to you again because it will not be a fun time twice.
We're not having fun? This isn't fun for you?
Oh, it's something.
I'm having fun.
I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll flip the script.
I can try to answer the question.
No,
I'm
you know what?
just- I'm sitting over here spilling beer on myself.
What inspires
new?
you,
What
Morgan?
else
What are
is
you
new?
inspired by?
I think that, the first spark of creativity probably came from the moment my dad brought me down to listen to Frank Zappa. And I was, just a baby, probably, 1 year old. But he was Blaze, and he was like,
This explains
finally
a lot.
had a little friend, and he's like, "We're gonna listen to Frank Zappa." And I just remember, like, time and time again, my dad, like, super happy, red eyes. He's like, "We're gonna listen to some cool rock and roll, and don't touch my record collection." And so, yeah, it was just a lot of Zappa and stuff like that. And I feel like that was at least some sort of spark. My dad laid a lot of his, culture on me. His stoner New York City culture. Late night movies and
No surprise here.
Yeah.
John Waters and El Topo.
And dope.
And dope.
He did Quaalude. No, he did Quaalude. He did Ludes. Ludes was his big thing.
Shout out to
You'd
your
be
dad.
Shout out to the one drug that like doesn't exist anymore, right?
Yeah,
they don't make
that's
them anymore.
one of the few drugs that they actually complete. I heard they're called lemons and they're made in Africa.
There's like a subplot.
I don't know if that's true.
There's like a
what
subplot
I've
in a
heard.
Pee Wee Herman movie.
What part of
Oh, no,
Africa?
Pee Wee Herman.
That's a good question. Gonna have to do some research on that. But I posted a picture of my mom and dad high on Quaaludes in '77 on Reddit, and within like a blink of an eye, I had 14,000 upvotes and like 800 comments, all about like the history of Quaaludes. Where did they go? Why are they gone? My mom is hot, or my dad looks like Andre the Giant, or
Nice.
or Evan Peters. I know you're like, how is that possible?
My-
How does either of them look like? But it's a lot of weird thing. My mom got pissed. She's like, why would you post a picture of me and your dad so fucked up? I'm like, well, first of all, you didn't have kids yet, so it's not a big deal. But my dad's like, leave it on. I want to hear what the girls think. Just leave it up. Let me know what they say. And it was like the
my
most
God.
attention that my dad has gotten in a long time. And I would have too. He's like, I want to know. Don't listen to your mother.
What was your biggest upvoted thing on Reddit? Do you ever
I
put
don't-
anything
I don't
on
put
Reddit?
anything
That
on
was
Reddit.
mine. My parents on Ludes.
Nobody?
Look.
I posted one thing on Reddit that got a ton of upvotes. That was me like initially shocked and kind of making fun of this girl called Natu Coco on TikTok. You've heard of her? So she's this girl in Japan who does like anime girl bouncing around like NPC movements, like a pause screen on a video
Oh,
game.
I've seen it.
She's got like cat ears and she's like,
Yeah.
or like reacts
Yeah.
to GIFs on the screen. And the first time I saw
It's
this, I
like
was like,
so
what the fuck?
animated, like
Yeah. I
This
thought it was
is
so
nothing
stupid.
like Molly Moon, right?
No,
This is
no. It's different. This is a live stream on TikTok. It's a live stream thing. And I went on there and I posted on Reddit, like, what the fuck is this? On like one of these what the fuck Reddit boards,
Right.
And everybody like upvoted it. And then there's a ton of like crazy people just being like, the end of the world. Like, this is the end of society. We should just stop here. Like, I want the giant meteor to hit us and all this crazy shit. And then I slowly grew to like really like it. And I was like, this is actually really good. Like, I feel bad for posting on a Reddit cringe board now because I'm like actually a legitimate fan now.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, that's where it starts. I had that
You
classic
hate it,
flip.
and then you're obsessed.
Yep.
Hate and love very, very close together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that happens to me all the time. So,
Love, hate.
yeah, I hate things for a long time, and then I'm like, okay.
What was
it's-
something that you really hated for a long time and then later on embraced?
Well, I don't even really listen to podcasts.
No, anything.
You
Whether
hate
it be
podcasts.
no,
That's
whether it be
funny.
a movie or a song. Like,
Uh.
did you hate "She Drives Me Crazy" by Fine Young Cannibals for a long time, and then you're like, "Wow, this is probably one of the greatest songs he's ever made."
That sounds very specific
That's so
and
specific.
personal.
I just really plucked that one out of the sky.
No, just let it all out.
But I'm saying,
what happened with you in that song?
no, I actually happen to like Fine Young Cannibals. The album, the Breakthrough album, there's a lot of different styles of rock and roll on that album, from soul to R&B to rock and roll. He goes from baritone to falsetto. He really shows him his magic.
You're not just inspired by music; you're like batteried by it.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
can't listen to
constant-
music anymore. After being in a band for a couple of years, I just don't listen to music.
That literally blows my mind, though.
It's
I
weird.
mean,
Yeah.
I've never been in a band, and I'm simply not talented in this sense. You don't want to hear me sing; it's no good.
Me and Sucklord,
I've heard it.
we play space rock.
Space rock.
Yeah, we space jam.
We have
Space
played-
Jam!
We have
played
space
He's like,
rock.
just to be clear, we do not
right
do
now.
this
We're
anymore.
we're in a hiatus.
A what now?
We're in a hiatus.
What the hell's a
hiatus.
hiatus?
That's when you take a
hiatus?
break
Yeah.
from something.
It's a
for a while.
hiatus.
No, I think you have it wrong. You
It's
took
not a
out the T.
hiatus.
I'm pretty sure it's hiatus. But that's what we're, right now it's not happening, but we went to space and we have jammed with instruments.
You were saying
Music in its entirety is ruined for you because you were in a band?
almost not like music, and I like music still, and I'll come across music and I'll appreciate music, but like listening to it actively is ruined for me. Like I don't go and put on music to listen to.
Just
Not even
thoughts.
to have it on in the background while you dither about.
No. If I put on anything, it's going to be something like lo-fi hip hop, background, or maybe like Genshin Impact lo-fi. But like, I really don't even do that. I just work in silence usually.
I have too many thoughts. I simply cannot. I need to drown it out immediately.
I'm in a
all the time.
constant search.
I have too many thoughts too, but I work in silence too, and I just let them have me.
And that's the way to go
Yeah.
sometimes.
No,
It's funny how
drown
I'd
them.
be thinking the same things all day, every day.
Yeah.
These stupid obsessions that just
Well, there you go.
never go away. And so even putting on the music doesn't help. So I'm like, why bother? Now my anxieties have a soundtrack.
There you go. So, well, there you go. You got
Makes
an
them
answer.
a little more epic in a way.
Next time someone asks you what inspires you, you've got your answer. Inner demons that creep in the silence.
Oh, they're not bad enough to be called demons.
Okay. Mine are.
Soundtrack to anxiety. I love that.
Yeah,
that's great.
So what inspires you? You make art too, right?
I sure do.
Yeah.
It's not as often as I should, but life's weird. It's fine.
How much do you think someone should make art?
More than me.
Well, you have to be in the mood.
You're the bar.
Sometimes you're
I
just not in the
absolutely
mood.
detest making art. I wish I could make it less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a compulsion, not a career.
Then what would you rather be doing?
I'd rather be playing music and making television and
A couple jam boys over here.
hanging out at the beach and having life experiences and shooting porn and
Shooting porn
yeah. And
with music, or you
I
just
edit my
silence?
porn. I edit my porn to music.
You gotta.
But you could make
What-
porn
what
musical
music?
videos.
I have some original tracks. They're like lo-fi or just sort of like electronic sounding things, but they have like highs and lows and progressions, and they're just conducive to cutting sex scenes too.
You
People
got
on
any?
OnlyFans, please look up Sucklord for his music for your porn.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you have any like a lot of wah pedal?
No, it's not. It's not like that
Wop, wop,
classic.
wop.
It's not like that classic like 70s porn music.
Rats.
It's like it's shit that just could just play in the background. It's just like
well, that's the
electronic
point.
music.
You're
It's
trying to hear
it sounds
other things.
it sounds contemporary. It doesn't sound like retro porn music.
Do any of you guys have like an album that you throw on to Sexy Time? Sexy Time album?
I don't have a specific playlist.
Really? No, there's like even an album, like a
I-
full
No.
album that you know that song after
the
song.
first Funkadelic record. That's if it's like drug sex.
That
I'm-
would make sense.
I'm gonna go with Sneaker Pimps.
I'm gonna go with whale mating calls.
I also
Vinyl.
like Alice Coltrane is great if you're trying to do more sensual stuff. Like what Journey and Satchidananda, that's really good if you want to like make love. Like that's good for that.
It's good for that.
Especially it's like if the first time you're hooking up with somebody. Well, it depends on the disposition, but I think it depends what the mood is. If like you want to do nasty shit or you want to really get into the sensuality.
Santana
of it.
would be probably be a good
Santana's
sexy album.
pretty good.
Santana
Why-
would be good.
Well, I just had a thought. Why are there not more crossover like sexy time toy art? Why don't you make like those hentai figurine things?
I do a lot of porn in my work.
Yeah, I know. I've seen.
I
Like,
have like a anal fisting Kermit the Frog toy. I mean, I've covered a lot.
but he's already
I've
getting
seen
anal
it.
fisted. He's a puppet.
I have tantric sex
Yeah.
figures. I have all kinds of gay slee stack shit. Like,
This is how I made friends with a few of my friends in art school, because they just drew a bunch of gay sex, and I was like, please befriend me, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Were they furries?
Not that I know of. That's their own
That
moment.
is, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
dress up
Be-
in
be a furry?
Furry shit. Yeah.
What would your
What's
animal
stopping
be?
you?
Just time and budget and connections.
No time to furry.
I'm too busy to like. I mean, if I was gonna dress as a furry, it would be the Disney Robin Hood Fox character.
That's a good one.
Oh, that,
All the girls want to fuck him. He's
That's
one of the
very
hottest
true.
cartoons to ever grace the screen.
it's very true.
And I feel like a kinship with that guy.
I've heard that from so many women. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said
need
that.
I
some
would
ears.
kill it.
You're
in
ready
that.
to go.
You also because he has that little tunic thing, like with the mantle. The
You just want to lift it up.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I love the feeling of fabric on skin. I like having sex with like fully clothed women. Especially if they're wearing, something like a tight, like cashmere sweater. Love all that.
Wait,
shit.
sweater?
There's an acronym
Yeah.
for that. There's like a category, right? Was it like CF CFNMN.
What does that stand for?
Clothed female, nude male.
Oh,
You would know
Wow.
Yeah. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of niche
like if someone other
pornography.
than this guy was wearing
Sorry.
this,
this.
I would rub up on it. You know?
Yeah. Also, again, what's stopping you? Just go for it. Well, this isn't the after out. This isn't the after dark.
He's not my.
Patreon-only
He's not my
cast.
type.
There's time, but not that. Not on mine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm unheard.
what is this podcast about? What's the subject?
I want to talk about. I want to be a meta
Are
episode.
there subjects?
Yeah, I mean, not
What's
really.
on the minds
Talk
of,
about
of
podcasts.
artists?
Yeah, I want to probably do a little podcastception here because you've had a lot of experiences with it, and I'm sure people listening to these, often will think, well, I could do that. Why don't I start a podcast? So
That's what
tell
I
them
did.
all it's really difficult, so they won't do it. So we'll have less competition.
It's very difficult. It takes a lot of time. Editing the audio is literal. I want to die every time.
It's the
but,
worst.
The key is get better.
But people want to know what's
True.
on other people's minds,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk about it. Like for instance, is there any weird images or things that you replay in your brain as you go to sleep? Is there anything specific that you just like put on over and over again? Tell us. I want to know. You're laughing. It's so
I'm laughing 'cause I
funny.
didn't expect
Big
it to
tough
go that
guy,
way.
Big tough guy with his ideas and his images in his brain.
Yeah, it's
I
just
just-
you looming over me in that outfit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just panic about money and then just be sad and sleep.
So recently mine is a little bit different than yours.
I hope so.
I picture a bowling ball that's like white marble with like light blue veins in it, and this Art Deco black room, this bowling ball room, but like the lane is black wood, right? And at the end of the lane, there are these two white Roman pillars, right? Kind of like, what is that, a Space Odyssey? Kind of like if they're bowling lane in that movie.
It's like a vaporwave bowling alley.
And it's just going down and hitting the pins over and
this
over
is the
again.
image when
This
you're
is
going
what
to
I play.
sleep?
Yeah.
You don't even you're
makes
not
a lot of
asleep
Sometimes
yet?
it's different.
That sounds kind of relaxing in a way.
It's weird. It's weird.
I just had a crazy dream the other day. It was very intense. I did not like it. So basically, in my dream, I'm sleeping, and then for some reason, my mom is sleeping next to me, and then her mother's ghost just passed and came to my mom to say goodbye because she was dying, and then in my dream, she was like coming to me to like say goodbye, but then I woke up and I was like, oh my god, I have to call my grandma. She's alive. She's well, but I was like, fuck.
You never know.
She's
You
fine.
never
She's
know.
okay. I double checked.
Do your dreams ever find your way into like your artwork?
Sometimes I had this reoccurring dream where I would go into this like almost bathhouse type giant pool place that's like really dark and the water's kind of green and there's like an alligator on the bottom. So I did paint that for one of my paintings once.
That's cool. You ever die in your dream?
No.
I definitely have.
I had one where I had an axe in the back of
fell.
my neck.
Oof.
Oh, you and that was it.
Yeah, that was a really fun one. I just gone to a new school, so my dream, of course, was that every block in the neighborhood was the school, and there was like the nerd of the school, Ian, who I had gotten in a fight with, ended up showing up as like a black knight on a horse with a huge axe, and then he stuck it in the back of my neck, and I was leaning over, there's like blood dripping down with this huge axe in my neck, and I'm like, I'm dreaming. I gotta wake up. Just wake up. But it was like 5 minutes of that. Just
I like that.
yeah, it was really awful.
I fell. I hit the floor, and then like I could still see like the ambulance came and took me away, and like I was dead.
Yikes! You might have actually died.
Do you feel like a new man?
Heaven sucks. This blows.
Do you guys watch the new Beavis and Butthead yet?
I did.
What do you think of it?
He's kind of got like, well, the show itself is actually funnier than the movie. That's my opinion.
The new one though, the new show.
The new show is funnier than the
episodes.
newer movie.
Yeah.
Because they have a movie, and I think the show is funnier than the movie. But like everything is kind of like a little bit slower. I still think it's fun. It's like Beavis and Butthead on K.
What are they like old now?
Oh, it's the same.
the same?
it's
There
the
is an
same, but,
episode where
like,
they're older, but this
Yeah.
generally knows the same.
Who needs that?
I don't know. I kind of missed them. So
it's kind of
I
funnier
liked
than
it.
a lot of other things
I like it.
on
Yeah.
that
There's
exist.
a few things have been on television that are as
I'd rather
genius than
fucking
Beavis and
stare
Butthead.
at the wall in silence than watch that shit.
Oh,
Well, that's what you do.
Oh yeah, I do because it's very entertaining.
is there anything going on in Toy World?
No,
No, absolutely nothing.
no.
No. Well, I'm in a VR world and I'm mad about the Olympics. Have you guys heard what they're doing at the Olympics?
No.
So they finally introduced esports.
Oh yes.
What?
Yeah, they introduced esports to the Olympics
What,
for the
like
2023. I wish. I think if it was vaping, like and blowing clouds, bro, like it would be better.
Do you remember when they did those competitions of people just blowing O's?
Yeah.
What the fuck are
O's.
esports?
So esports are a thing that's like a multi-million-dollar a year industry that is competitive video game playing. So
In the Olympics?
This tracks.
yes, right. So the Olympics finally are supposed to be catching up to speed, but
So this can happen during the summer or winter.
it's whatever's coming up. The Summer Olympics, I guess. They're the one's coming up, right?
What
Sounds
games
about
do
right.
they play?
That's the thing that's fucking weird. They chose weird games. So instead of, they didn't want any violence, and all of the top esports are like Call of Duty and like first person shooters, right? So they got a partnership with Fortnite, but instead of a regular Fortnite battle, it's like a Fortnite target practice.
What?
So it's completely like gutted of all the fun of the game. So it's no PvP. And then they picked all these weird ass games like a sailing logistics simulator and a mobile app called Tic Tac Bow. That's like a tic tac archery shitty mobile app.
Cool. I'm going to watch the Olympics even less, even harder.
I
I'm
know,
going to
I'm
ignore
so
the
mad.
Olympics even harder because of that.
Yeah, it's really
I don't
ridiculous.
give a shit. Now, one thing about just being a delusional, self-absorbed artist is you can just like watch your own internal film and interact with the rest of the world as much or as little as you choose to and still be completely entertained all the time.
Yeah.
I would literally rather just sit with my own thoughts in my head for fucking weeks on end and watch that crap.
I do that. I do that.
I like curling though. Do you have a favorite Olympic sport?
I don't watch sports.
No. I don't really
I
watch
hate
sports
them all
either, but I
evenly.
like curling. Yeah.
Though I do like hockey, but that's only because I dated someone who was a hockey player, and I thought it was really funny that it was like very violent until he got a concussion, and that was not good.
Not as hilarious.
It's funny. I
It
also
wasn't funny
detest
then.
sports, but hockey's the one I sort of let off the hook.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I grew up in a hockey household, so
What was the team?
That'll do it.
the Islanders, the New York Islanders.
My dad loved the Islanders. 4 years in a row.
Yeah, that was same my mom. Same my mom was a wretched team that had this incredible 4-year streak and then never caught it again to this day. This was in like 80 to 83, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel bad for people who give a fuck about that, man.
I mean, back then you didn't have to wear a helmet, so that's why people had a lot less teeth.
Yeah.
That's true.
That was,
Well, you don't need teeth to play.
No.
You just need some legs.
it's interesting.
some
Like
arms,
anybody during the years that did not require wearing a helmet were grandfathered into that. So I don't remember.
I mean,
what
I think
year
that's
it
why a
was.
lot of people liked it, were fans of hockey, was specifically for the fights.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
the violence.
Slapshot, one of the greatest hockey
So
movies
much.
of all time. Paul Newman,
Yeah.
the Hanson brothers, amazing movie.
Yeah, I guess movies and that kind of constant absorption of media is probably what makes me do art. Because like I was homeschooled, so I was just stuck inside watching films all the time. So in a similar way that I think you guys do music,
And you had
or
cable,
inspired by music. I had crazy cable.
so you had Showtime, you had Cinemax.
I had
you
Sega
had-
Channel. I talk about privilege. I had Sega Channel. Sega Channel was like Netflix for the Sega Genesis. So you could download 50 different games every single month that would just reset every month. They'd be in categories.
Wow.
Download them for 3 minutes and play all day. I played that for 6 years. And I turned very pale.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
pale.
Yeah, I hissed at my parents when they would open the garage door. But I don't know. Did you have any obsessions like that when you were growing up?
Burns! It stings!
And now I do sort of art related to video games. so-
I was just a weird kid who just only cared about animals. And so you remember when you were a kid and you have to like go get a book for class? Like, oh, time to go to the library, time to get a book. I literally just reread the same like 3 animal books. So like this is where all my facts came from.
You have those
And
3 books are memorized?
And then I just like watched a lot of like Animal Planet and then the TV show Art Attack. So really I'm just like the adult version of Little Me, which I guess everyone is, but I only care about like animals and art, and here we are.
You just never got out of those 3 books.
It's fine, I got a lot of fun facts.
Hit us with an animal fact.
Okay, let's see. So like a duck, their penis is a corkscrew.
Oh, I did know
I
that
did
one.
know. I knew that actually.
I know that, and it's still disturbing.
Okay, I have another one. Bull sharks, they can live in both like salt water and like brackish water. So basically, you're never You're never out of a threat of a bull shark.
Could you tell us about mermaids?
No. But are you gonna see the new Little Mermaid?
No.
No.
It's not. I thought that already came out.
Well, it's still new.
It's pissing off a bunch of racists.
Oh, right.
I don't need to watch it in order to enjoy that.
I remember that. Yeah. That's still. I thought that came out.
I
like
love to
years
piss
ago.
off racists.
The trailer
No.
came out, and that's what had everybody bugging out because, Ariel isn't black.
Right.
What do you mean black mermaids? They're not in the sun, so they don't need melanin. Mermaids are pale because they don't see the sun.
And they're like, well, actually, the water acts as a reflecting lens that will extra tan their skin, so it is technically canon. No, people arguing about the dumbest shit all the time.
It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it gets crazy. Oh, Amanda, earlier you said Keith Haring, and I forgot to brag.
I love when you brag.
Yes, I get to brag a little bit because I have a sneaky little thing.
Woo.
I technically am in a show with Keith Haring in London.
Very good.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon.
What do you mean technically?
Well, I mean that, he's dead.
What is it? Some kind of group show or something?
Yeah.
No, he's dead.
Yeah, so
R.I.P.
Keith Haring and some other greats as well, some big names. But the reason is because my friend, you remember Adrian Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Adrian, what do you think of him?
He's a fine fellow.
Yeah, I love him.
No, I've known him for a while. We've had plenty of adventures together. He's great.
He's super cool. He used to have the store in Ludlow Street called
The Free Store,
the Free
right?
Store. Yeah.
I'm familiar. We had a whole discussion about it on my
no,
podcast.
that's actually different. That's Vicky and the Free Shop.
They're both called the Free Store in Ludlow.
This one was actually called the Antillius Retailer.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, we talked about the Free Store on my podcast.
Yes. What does it mean with Amanda Wu?
What does it mean with Amanda Wu?
But so Adrian, right? So he comes to me and he's like, I want to do an NFT project, right? Everyone's all super hyped on NFTs.
Is this an NFT show?
No, it's not actually. It's not actually. It morphed into something kind of cooler, which I
It was
think is
going to
cool.
be an NFT show to begin with.
Well, it wasn't
and then
like-
everyone was like halfway through it. It was like, oh, no one gives a shit about NFTs anymore. Let's slap some shit on the walls.
Actually,
Do
that's
people-
happening all over the place.
Do people care about NFTs anymore?
yeah.
Do you care about
yes,
it?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Are you people? Do you care?
I never cared. Some con man tried to take advantage of me and use me as a tool in the
Typical
Ponzi
story.
scheme. Yeah, totally typical story.
hate that
It's
for
a
you.
shame that Wizard Skull isn't here. He kind of dealt with something similar, but yeah, are NFTs still a thing?
I sell NFTs like every 2 months. I drop a new NFT set.
There you go. Yeah. I think that they are definitely there. The irony is that I
People
painted
still
the art.
care about it. They're not as like big and hype and going to change the
Right.
world and change art and change money and finance and every single thing you do forever and everyone's going to get rich.
Well, what about crypto though? That's different. It's divorced a little bit. It's not divorced at all, but
It's divorcing or
Yeah.
there's different. I mean, I don't know. I know that like the world that was presented as the NFT world back when the big boom happened, the Ethereum blockchain
Beetle
and even
blob.
Tezos and even some of the other blockchains, that's all leveled out. And, there's still people that are really into the work and people
Yeah.
that are still committed to making it happen. And they're all sort of collectively lamenting about how it's sort of in the dumps, but they're still really want to make work. And so they're keeping it going. I sell NFTs on the Wax blockchain,
wax.
that just went under the radar. It stayed the same. It's like a trading card based. It's not really art. It's more like collectibles.
Right.
Trading cards, licensing, things like that. And they just sort of stayed out of the fray and just kind of.
Does Wax have any like of the big like weird corporate tie-in trading card stuff like
they
McDonald's,
do.
NHL?
They do everything Funko. All the they have Marvel shit. It's like all kinds of Tops is on there or was on there. So it's like but it just like because it was trading cards, it wasn't art. It didn't get
Right.
caught up in the big ups and downs of that. It just sort
Yeah.
of stayed the same. Like nobody's getting rich out off of it.
Right.
There's no wild fluctuations. No one cares about the Wax as a currency so much, so it stays relatively consistent. And some people want that shit.
Yeah.
And like I have a small little collector base in that space that is willing to continue to collect. So I have a partner and I just service it, and it's just one of my little side hustles.
There you go.
And it's great. And who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
But
NFTs, am I right?
yeah, well, I don't know. I think they didn't change I think they actually did change the world.
Yeah.
I think they changed the way people perceive things. Even though there's like a backlash, anything that gets that hype is going to have a backlash.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Right.
Brandon's obsessed.
Oh, me too.
I don't know if I would say I'm obsessed with AI. I'm a reluctant defender of it.
I like to always hit you with the AI art news in my
yeah.
podcast because I know you're going to be real hyped to talk about it.
a
Reluctant.
lot of
Talk
people
about
that
it.
are really still into NFTs are also into AI. There's a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot of
crossover there,
crossover.
and a lot of people are
Most AI projects
showing
end
and
up
sho-
on the blockchain.
Yeah, and people, that's where those are those spaces where people are sharing that kind of work.
How did you describe yourself?
Myself,
Reluctant.
I said I'm a reluctant, like defender of AI.
Anyway,
art.
let's
That's
jerk
like
your,
that's like a Dungeons and Dragons
let's
chaotic
jerk your
neutral.
dick a little bit more about this fucking Keith Haring show.
Every time
So
I
like,
hear,
what the fuck is it? Give
Yeah,
us
yeah.
some details.
So,
What gallery is it? Where
It's going to be in the Computer Science Center in London, the Computer Science Museum, and it all started because Adrian came to me and he was like, "I want to do an NFT project. You know about that shit. Help me with this NFT project." And it was something completely different. It was like, post no NFTs, like a geotag location idea. It was cute, but it was like new. And then I saw in his portfolio this like stuff. He showed me some like computer generated images from like the advent of digital imaging.
Right.
And I was like, what is this? And he's like, well, this has never been seen before. I'm like, this is what you should be making into NFTs. Like this stuff has like inherent historical value. It's crazy. It's cool. And it turns out he's like one of the first people to ever specialize in digital imaging.
Right. He still has that weird machine or that rig.
Well,
I mean, you
the
should get
Quantel
him on
plotters.
here to go into detail.
We got
about
to
all
get
of
him
this.
in there. But what that is
It's
actually,
like the first like Illustrator or first Photoshop type.
it's called the
software.
Quantel Paint Box, and the Quantel Paint Box was like it was like $250,000 in the 60s and 70s, and he got into the idea of this. He started shopping around the idea, got a lot of interest from a lot of places. He actually went upon it and built and refurbished one. That's why he has it, is because he got into this project initially as NFTs of this old computer work, but then he actually just rebuilt a machine. And then I came over to play with it and I did some art on it. And then I continued to say that I thought it was good and help him out, read, press releases and stuff. And then he started digging up work from like really famous artists that had been done on this machine that had never been seen before.
Oh.
And so that's what the show's about. It's about how the Quantel Paint Box changed our world, that's the title of the show. And it's
How does
about that.
Keith Haring fit into this?
He's got a piece in it.
Keith Haring did a piece on this machine?
Yep, back in the day.
Sick.
Like back in the 80s. So he unearthed some like
sick.
weird Keith Haring drawings from that day.
And who owns the works that's being displayed?
Well, I know he's got explicit permission from the Keith Haring Foundation to include him in the show.
Good.
So
that's
the Keith Haring Foundation does, I suppose so. But yeah, he's just discovering stuff from like David Hockney, who's always been in that. So he's in that show too.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you.
And so I'm schlupped in there at the end.
Yeah, hey, take it. Take it.
It's like
Congratulations.
there's like the 20-year gap, and then there's
Right.
me, like as of like a couple.
Hey, those
last
guys
year.
are dead. They can't complain. So it's
Yeah.
Well,
and what
with any
works-
luck, you don't get haunted.
Yeah, but you never know like what the thing that you make that as an artist is going to end up being somewhere good. Because like I did that as like
what works do you have included?
It was literally just we took a picture of me at his house, and then I put the picture of me into the computer, and I like drew on it. And so I like drew wings and a face on myself and like colored my beard purple or whatever, and just like played around with it. I didn't expect it to go anywhere. And now it's like being featured in this huge show with all these
That's
artists.
so funny.
good for you.
It's pretty weird. Pretty cool. But I love old technology like that. I'm like kind of obsessed with like old computers, and there's like the thriving scenes you see these days with like 8-bit oh my god, I can't remember his name as a YouTuber, 8-bit guy, the 8-bit guy. And he just like restores Commodore 64s and like has made a new video game.
I love all
for
those
it.
guys that like hack the boards and make musical instruments out of it, or just sort
Oh,
of
I
like,
used to do that.
I'm one of my creative goals is to make an actual functioning original Atari cartridge. Like some that you could only play on a 2600. That was the thing I had when I was a kid. So that's where my like sort of aesthetics come from.
I had an uncle that was obsessed with video games, and he would buy them months before they became public to America. So basically, we had every single system that existed, ranging from, we knew the Super Nintendo as a Super Famicom.
Yeah.
But he had, the Commodore 64, the Atari ST, the Atari 2600, the Atari 800,
ColecoVision,
ColecoVision.
I had
and
a
do you
Mattel.
know, here's a crazy
Intellivision.
fact. Intellivision, Activision.
Did he have the Fairchild?
No,
the
but
Fairchild's
we
good.
did have the Vectrex. Do you know the Vectrex?
Yes. How about Odyssey 2?
That's probably even lower production than the Vectrex. Someone from the mall.
Don't even try to fuck with me on this particular.
No, I'm serious. I know my.
I mean, once you get to Nintendo, my there's nothing there, but everything prior to that,
Encyclopedic.
yes.
No,
So fucking watch out.
No, obviously, definitely. But I didn't have the Odyssey. We hadn't television. We had, again, Atari 800, which was pretty crazy. But here's a crazy fact. You know who the company that created Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yeah.
Coleco.
All right. I think I remember that.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. There was a crazy people thought Elmo was a crazy thing when Talking Elmo came out.
Oh, yeah.
No.
People used to get into brawls at Toys R Us to try to get those shits.
Cabbage Patch Kids started
Thank God
brawls.
I didn't want that one. My mom was so psyched I didn't want that.
I didn't want one, but I got one.
They came with a birth certificate, a name.
Yeah,
it was real. It was
I
like you
always
had
thought
a
it was-
real child.
I always thought it was weird that they had like a tattoo on their ass.
Oh,
It just
yeah,
said
that's
Cabbage
right.
Patch
Incredible
Kids,
phenomenon, the
but it was like in like a tattoo ink color. It
I
wasn't
don't,
like
I don't know if I
black.
had one, but I have a funny doll story. So
They were expensive, probably.
my grandmother has all those like old dolls that are just like porcelain, but like the bodies are soft.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she has like a bunch of those like baby carriages, but they just like are always there, just like staring at you during Christmas, and you're like, oh yes,
That
this
reminds
is
me of Tales from the
normal.
Crypt. That's Tales from the Crypt shit right
It's like,
there.
let me just
Yeah.
open my Christmas present while you stare at me.
Yeah, when there's too many of them, that's when it
there's
gets
many.
scary.
I'm gonna randomly go
I
back to video games.
I have stuffed animals in my bed right now.
I do
have-
too. What's your
this
stuffed
is
animal
a-
in your bed? Actually,
I have a bunch of them.
what do you got?
This is Casper.
A lot of strange shit. I have a green goblin, a salacious crumb. I have the little jolly green giant sprout. I have a plush Fred and Barney. I have this little strawberry baby knockoff strawberry shortcake, cute little baby doll. I have a couple of other weird things. I have a Coco Pelli. I have Max Rebo from
What's a
Star
Coco Pelli?
Coco Pelli is like, I think he's a Hopi Native American god. He's like a god of mischief. He's
Oh,
like,
that's
you ever
cool.
see that glyph of the little goblin playing the little
Sure.
flute? That's a Coco Pelli. And I have E.T. I have a plush E.T. I
Phone
think
home.
it's a bootleg, with the big finger. And I have a plush Pac-Man. And I have a big, like, sort of cut and sew Band-Aid with a scab on it. I got weird shit.
You got a Naga?
And I sleep with them sometimes.
You sleep-
I cuddle,
That's
I
good.
cuddled them
So, but
sometimes.
I have some.
when they're not in your
Yeah.
bed, where are they?
There's like a little shelf over my bed where I just
So
sort
you
of
pick and
stash them.
choose who you
I
want
pick and
for
choose
the-
them. The strawberry baby is the main
Strawberry
character.
baby.
Strawberry
baby, baby.
Yeah, and then all the ones are her little friends.
That's
so
so I
cute.
do have a little world with the plush
My situation
stuffed
is-
animals. It really is so.
Everyone
fucking
tell about
therapeutic.
your
That's
stuffed
adorable.
animals. I,
I-
need to know.
It's so therapeutic. You know, it's
I have a
unbelievable.
big collection of stuffed
me.
animals, but I don't sleep with all of them. The only one, this is kind of depressing. The only one I sleep with was my dead dog's toy.
No, there's nothing.
Oh,
there's nothing
that's
wrong
fine.
with
That's
that,
fine.
though.
That's fine.
Feels.
But I do have a plush Stimpy. I have a plush powdered toast man.
Oh, love it.
I even have
I
the
was
plush
always into Ren personally, but
horse.
yeah.
Mr. Horse.
you're-
no, sir, I didn't like it.
That was the
No,
best
sir.
character.
But that makes sense because I feel like I'm more of a Stimpy. Because
Yeah, that's why I get over on you all the time.
And you're Ren. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm
Yeah,
saying,
that's why you're the bitch in this relationship.
you stupid idiot.
You stupid idiot. Psh, Stimpy was such a masochist.
I wanna
They were
be-
perfect
Oh my
for
God,
that reason.
such a masochist.
And Ren is a sadist. So.
Constantly went back for getting his ass
Getting
kicked.
punishment, and Ren had plenty of it, and he was so specifically psychotic. For a small little guy. That's why I always related to him, because he was a small, angry little creature.
He's like an underdog.
Yeah, he's like a goblin. I mean, he was just like, and that's how I feel.
Chihuahua.
So
So small.
He showed his love with
Tiny.
violence.
yeah,
Yes.
and money. He loved money.
He loved money, and he wanted big pectorals.
Big pectoral muscles.
And there was the episode where Stimpy took the fat from his ass and he transferred it to
yeah.
Ren's chest for
I
his.
remember that.
I forget the actor's name. What was it with the? I think he had to have died in Spartacus. With the
Okay.
chin.
Charlton Heston?
Sure.
No, and the nose.
I have. You were saying you
Was
sleep
it
with
Martin
your
Sheen?
dead dog's toy. I have
I do.
a
Monkey
giant
Fox.
pillow like this big of my dead cat Sugar.
Wait, is it like your cat stuffed?
No.
Oh,
It's like a printout. it's like a
literally
plush.
a photo of my cat Sugar in a giant pillow, and I sleep with it sometimes.
I don't think that's weird at all.
I never said it was.
But some might.
I don't care.
Do you
It's
tell?
not weird.
Well, I mean, you're saying it in public, so I
No,
guess
no,
you
no.
don't feel any shame. about it.
I do have this story. Like,
Yeah.
years ago, I was on Tinder, and this girl was like, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna come over right now." I was like, "Wait, what?" And this is when I had my dog. My dog slept with me, Molly, my little pug wife. Anyways,
I love a pug
so
wife.
the girl shows up out of nowhere. She's like, "Hey, I'm jumping belly." I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is rare and weird, but cool because this doesn't happen."
When I have girls come over, I hide my strawberry baby.
Do
The
you
strawberry
hide
baby.
just the
If they don't
strawberry
like the
baby?
strawberry
Yeah.
baby, then they can't hang. Like if they don't accept,
No, it's
a
not
good
that.
test.
It's not
Your
that. I don't
bedmate.
want the doll to see me doing those things.
Oh, you don't. So what? So okay. So the girl comes over. Strawberry baby is there. What happened? Things sexy. It goes into sexy time. But what happens to strawberry
Well,
baby?
if she's coming upstairs, it's happening. So when she goes to the bathroom, which she will inevitably do the second we walk into the apartment, I
Right.
dip into the room and I put her in the drawer, and then I put a couple of friends in there with her, and I close it.
Oh.
Gotta make sure she has friends.
Well, I couldn't do
and I'm
that
just
with
like, you're
my
going on
dog.
an adventure in the secret magic cave. See you later, boom.
So I
and
couldn't-
then because it's just like it's more like I use that's like a therapy doll for me, and like because I got it out of a trauma that I was trying to heal from, and I got it. So it's like it's a little more complicated than that, and I don't want to see the doll when I'm fucking, just because it just like it's a different side of me.
Right,
like
right.
once I've been with you for a long time. Then I just don't give a shit. But it's like if like a girl I'm bringing home for the first time, it's like I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I've never told anybody this.
She has to win
Thank you for
strawberry
sharing.
baby's
This-
approval.
It's not about
Yeah.
it's not about that. It has nothing to do
No.
with that. All of this is going on in my own head.
Yeah.
And it's just more like the way the doll makes me feel. It's just like sometimes I just don't want it in the room when like I'm doing personal sexy things,
Well,
it doesn't mean the girl, like I tell these girls, like I've told like one or two women I've heard, oh, this is my little therapy dog, whatever. And she's like, oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't give a
They're
fuck.
gonna know now.
Yeah, but they don't give a fuck. They're not invested in it like I am, so they don't give a
And
fuck.
if they do give a fuck, then she's
I actually
not
have
the
an
right person
Instagram
for
account
Sucklord.
for this doll.
Oh,
She's not for
It's
Sucklord.
got its own. It's like
Change
a
the
secret,
subject,
change the
change this. I'm not
No,
ready
it's
to
just
talk
getting
about
good.
this.
It's just getting
Nah.
good. You got
So strawberry baby has its own
Instagram.
Strawberry baby.
Oh, nice.
secret
And
Instagram
why-
for strawberry baby.
Strawberry baby.
Looking
That's
up-
Redditors.
enough. That's enough. I don't want to
Redditors
I'm not ready
on
to
your mark.
No, stop. Edit this out.
Okay, I'll tell.
let me just end it. So
just
the
kidding,
girl
you're
came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and of course Molly sleeps with me, and she wanted sexy time out of nowhere, and Molly was in bed, and she never talked to me again after that night.
Because Molly was in bed.
Molly was in the bed, but I'm
don't
sure this
like
is
when-
something
So
that
it's-
happened.
Wait, what?
Basically a threesome.
Molly, the dog, was in the bed, so like
And the dog never talked to you again?
Yeah, the dog was like, that was disgusting.
Or you mean I
Never
don't understand
barked
the
again.
woman.
The
I didn't
woman
get
never
no
talked to you
sexy.
again.
Yeah, that was
it
it.
because of Mal the dog, or
I
just
think
because
so.
you were
You shouldn't wanna
a
chill with the
miserable?
dog.
Molly was under the covers though.
You mean
Oh,
things
That's
like,
like
no.
oh, he had his dead dog's toy in
was-
the bed, and otherwise he was so
No, this
amazing
is
in every
when
way.
Molly
and a
was
great dick,
alive.
But
I have questions.
Sorry, everybody's talking to each
No,
other.
and let me just bring this up. I have a friend. I'm not going to mention a name, but he's dating this girl who's a dog walker, and
Hey.
so she does have a dog that is her dog, which is a French bulldog, and those dogs can kind of be a little bit bullish. Like a pug is the attitudes of personality of a pug is more like a loaf of bread. There are a few like crazy pugs. I'm only bringing up pug to French bulldog because they're kind of look slightly similar. But French bulldogs can be kind of bullish. And, whenever sexy time happens, like the dog starts to bark and cry. And it's like this big, like how are you supposed to maintain when like it's like, oh, my child's barking. Like,
It's
and
literally
then
like
you're
a child.
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable having sex when there's pets in.
Yeah, I don't like when their dog's
Really?
staring at you. Like,
I mean, if
that's
the
kinda
dog
weird.
is completely ignoring it, but still, I just feel like.
So I guess it's even worse
It's
when the
not-
dog is under the covers.
Yeah.
This is not the
Oh.
doggy
I wouldn't
style
do
you
it
wanted.
to
Do you really
me.
think that's why this girl curved you because of that, and not because of other reasons?
Yeah, there's so many other reasons.
I'm not a betting man.
I once
You know, but, it's like
one time I
sometimes
was
you feel
hooking
like
up with this girl and the dog in the house. It was like her friend's or cousin's house or something. We're in this bedroom. We weren't like making love. We were just like making out or whatever. But it was getting heavy, and the dog decided to try and join in.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh right, edit out my story. That was boring.
Let me
She's like,
just
let me
say.
tap in, let me tap
Started
in.
humping on her
That-
like crazy from the
And
other
then what did
side.
you guys do?
She was like, Okay, no,
you
kidding. No,
you were
did
like,
I was like, this is great. No, that was terrible. It was traumatic for everyone.
So we
involved.
full circled to furries.
yeah, really.
Well,
really,
I
really.
wonder what happens when you're not there.
Oh my God, have you seen
And
Animal
past
Passion?
experiences that this dog may have gotten involved with.
I don't want to think about that.
Well,
No.
you're lucky
Ooh.
that you didn't
This
have that
is
happen to you.
bestiality, and it's definitely illegal.
Have you seen Animal Passions, the documentary about bestiality? It's fucking crazy.
No, but I know about Mr. Hand.
Oh yeah, Mr. Hands. I know this is.
I hate this.
This is also a gross story.
And
Edit out.
scene.
And scene. That's it, people.
here's an animal fact. You know those deep sea anglerfish? You know,
Yeah.
the way they reproduce is that the women grow very large and the men
They're
become,
so tiny.
and what they do is they attach themselves because they don't have their own digestive or circulatory system. So they have to attach themselves to the female, and then their circulation system and their feeding system becomes incorporated, and they
yeah.
become nothing more. And this is a quote from the Museum of Natural History:
Shout out.
a sperm producing appendage.
Yeah, and also like in the bottom of the ocean, there's so few of them. Of course, you have to like.
Yeah, you
So the first one you see.
you attach on, and then all your job is to be just like, that's all you are. You just make sperm, and it just goes into her, and she makes babies, and all
Yeah,
your
yeah.
needs are met. It sounds perfect to me, but
As long as you're
Sometimes
not
I
a
feel-
spider, because you'll just like.
yeah, no, that
and
sounds
then
like
you
a
get
way. It
eaten,
sounds
so-
a way. I could just ride along and just come all day and be fed. Hell yeah.
That's
I don't
not
have
it,
to make
though.
any decisions.
That's not it though. Your insides melt.
That's
and they
fine.
turn into
She
something
knows where we're
else.
going.
In the animal world, would you rather A, be a spider where you get eaten after, or B, be a seahorse and you have to give birth?
I'd rather be eaten.
I'd rather be a seahorse.
I would like to shout out to all the trans people who are giving birth. Thank you.
I like a seahorse.
I want to be a pug.
I do not want to give birth. Fuck that shit.
I also don't want
God
to give
bless
birth.
the people that
so-
do.
Sorry,
and
Mom.
anybody that wants to take on that burden. I don't really give a shit what your gender is. Thank you for propagating the human race.
Somebody's gotta do it.
Because I'm sitting that shit out. Even though I do have some wonderful DNA, which I would love to donate to the right incubating person. Let's talk.
Like money wise, or just like
No, I don't
funsies?
need. I don't need money for it.
Just for fun.
I just feel like I have good genes, and I'm not going to have my own children, and I don't have brothers and sisters, and it just seems like
Oh, you're an only child.
yeah, and it seems like
You're an
wasteful.
Aries and an only child.
Yeah, and I have good sperm. You know, like I age slowly, and I'm healthy, and I don't have any diseases, and I'm incredibly smart. And
That's the
I think
clip.
that's good DNA.
Also known as Sucklord.
Yeah.
Yeah, good DNA.
So
all
if you
around.
want my sperm and you're going to give a good home to whatever it creates, let's talk.
check on the Patreon. Sign up. Oh wait, I can add a level to the Patreon for you, where
Sperm.
you get.
Sucklord,
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think? Like $100 a month, you get one.
No.
small
It
vial.
has to be at least 1,000.
1,000. Yeah, 1,000 a
Just because you
Just-
don't want that many.
We can work out the specifics.
How many knocks at the door do you want?
I mean, can you imagine that?
month. I think we could do it easily.
We'll take another one. Come on in.
Let's see what
can put on
happens.
little
Okay, let's
chain.
explore the idea and
right.
change the subject.
Brewing.
You don't have to plug this show. You should use your time to plug your show and your fundraisers, and
Yes,
we'll plug
indeed.
the show. In.
It's
Hello.
time for final thoughts with Amanda.
Hello, this is not art news or an interview. This is final thoughts. So, one, listen to What Does It Mean with Amanda Wu. I am the host, Amanda Wu. Brandon is also there. We talk shit about the art news. And then also, I'm going to be in a book, and it's going to be Coagulation. So check that out. Follow me on Instagram, and then you can hear more about that.
Coagulation.
Coagulation. It's the fifth
blood
episode. It's
book?
the
What
fifth.
does that mean?
So
It means your blood
coagulation is where like your blood like right?
Right.
But it's the fifth volume. This one is specifically sorry, I'm dyslexic. Please hold. It's axiologies. That's the title of this one. And I write poetry and I'm an artist. So it's a little twofer, you know?
Sick.
So if you like poetry, please buy it. Thanks.
Snap, snap, snaps.
Also, I have one, a pin, a call, and two, a sticker. So purchase those too. Thanks.
Yes, you can actually find that pin on Solas Studio's Etsy page, as well as Amanda Wu's Etsy page, I believe. Do you have your own Etsy page?
My Etsy's dead. Don't look at it.
Okay, look at our Etsy page, Solas Studio NYC. Anyway, thanks again for joining us for another episode of Lucky Time Explosion. Check us out on Patreon.
Follow the Patreon. Give us money. Buy my artwork.
And go to this fucking asshole's Patreon and give him some fucking money. I'm not here for my own enjoyment, all
We're
right?
gonna start coming around. We're gonna fucking break legs.
No, thanks. It's been great.
I'll break legs. I got a fucking axe back at home. I got, tiny hammers and nails and a drill.
So you're just gonna be dink.
Yeah, whatever I gotta do, whatever works.
Lucky Fun Time Explosion, everybody. Thanks for
Lucky
watching.
Time
Fuck you.
Explosion.